Now, we don't know who Manchester United's new owners are going to be in the summer, but the same thing will apply to every single one of them. They're going to be signing a new striker for Erik ten Hag and Manchester United. If you look at the one missing piece from this season, it's a striker. It's the thing that will definitely take this team immediately up another level. So what I'm going to do in this video is take a look at some brief scout reports on some top targets. I'm going to take a look at 7 different strikers, some that you will, well, you know all of them, but obviously Harry Kane's on there. Obviously Victor Osimhen's on there. And there's some other strikers I think we should be having discussions about. So hopefully you learned something from this video. You can let me know what you think about all the different targets in the comments below. Please do drop a like on this video. Big up to Stephen for helping with the research on this one, because they do take a lot longer to do. But it's important to sort of take a full look at what's out there in the market and try to understand which striker would be best. Now, we've had a conversation about Harry Kane today. And of course, Harry Kane is pretty much top of that list. It's either Harry Kane or it's Victor Osimhen, and that comes down to a little bit of personal opinion. But if we take a look at the numbers here, look, Harry Kane has been scoring. By the way, these stats are correct up until, so it's the 25th of April today. These stats were correct up until around about a week ago. So remember that when running through them. He's been scoring goals galore this year. With Harry Kane, the interesting thing that sort of differs him from other players, if you look at his touches, he's got, I think, roughly 8 touches per 90 more than Victor Osimhen. If you take a look at his pizza chart, look, he's scoring goals. He's taking shots. His expected goals is high. But also, look, successful box entries. Looking at his key passes. Harry Kane is not just a striker. Harry Kane is a bit of a playmaker as well. And I think that's kind of where he differs from all the strikers on this list, really. And it's something that you can have a debate about, and we've had debates about as a community already, as to whether or not we need that pure out-and-out striker, or whether you think Ten Hag might be looking for someone like Harry Kane who can drop a little bit deeper. Now, by complete contrast, is of course Victor Osimhen, somebody who has been banging goals in all season long. Look at that, 24 matches played, 21 goals scored for Napoli. As I said, accurate up until a couple of weeks ago. But Victor Osimhen, look, if you look at his pizza chart here, look at his goals, man. Look at his XG. Remember, the closer this number is to 100, the better. This is the percentile rank compared to all strikers in top 5 leagues. But you can see he doesn't really get involved in the wider game. As I said, 8 touches less per 90 than Harry Kane. But Victor Osimhen is just a straight-up goal scorer. He's not somebody who would come into Manchester United and be a playmaker. He's somebody who would just get on the end of anything that's given to him. And that will kind of suit United. Because, of course, we've got Bruno. We've got Eriksen. We've got creators in that team. We need a finisher in that team. That's the big thing that's missing. I'm not saying that Harry Kane can't be that finisher. But there's also a playmaker side to Harry Kane's game, which Victor Osimhen doesn't have. Not as a slight against Victor Osimhen, but just trying to show you the full profile of these players. Now, it's all gone a little bit quiet with Gonçalo Ramos. I don't think he's scored in his last 5 appearances for Benfica, including them getting knocked out in the Champions League by, I believe, Inter Milan. But he still scored plenty of goals this year for Benfica. As I said, look, 17 into, I think he's got like 23 goals in 30, so thereabouts, in about 30 odd appearances. I don't particularly know because the data isn't as precise with the Portuguese league compared to all the other leagues. So there's actually a little bit less information on Gonçalo Ramos. I think if you were to, you'd probably put him somewhere in between Harry Kane and Victor Osimhen, really. His stock obviously rose massively at the World Cup. Scored that hat-trick for Portugal when he came into the game to replace Cristiano Ronaldo. And Benfica have a history of selling players at big prices for big profits. None more so than Enzo Fernandez, who they signed for what? 10 million, something like that, last summer, and then sold to Chelsea for like 120 million. Only 6 months later. Gonçalo Ramos is a very good player. Youngest here, easily. Harry Kane nearly 30, Victor Osimhen 24, and Gonçalo Ramos is only 21. Do you think it'll be more like a Darwin Núñez type signing? You can let me know what you think about that in the comments. But Gonçalo Ramos is definitely going to be on the list. I don't think he's anywhere near as high up that list as Harry Kane or Victor Osimhen would be. And it's a real shame, I'll be honest, that we can't have a proper conversation about this lad. Because I think he does deserve a full conversation. Evan Ferguson, we talk about youngest on this list, only 18 years old, but Evan Ferguson is one heck of a prospect. You can't really learn too much from this Matt because he hasn't been playing enough for Brighton in the Premier League, but he is on the verge of signing a new contract. And Brighton are going to be keeping him. So I would say Evan Ferguson, don't forget the name, but I would say Evan Ferguson is a conversation that we're going to have a little bit further down the line. If we're being greedy, the idea that Man United could sign either Kane or Osimhen and then bring in Ferguson too, amazing. It would be amazing. It's the sort of stuff you can do in Football Manager, but not in reality. And I think he would probably cost in the region of 30. Well, he's going to cost more than that now. Brighton have done well if they're going to get him to sign that new contract. And according to Fabrizio Romano, that deal is close. But if you're talking about another sort of prospect player, Victor Osimhen and Harry Kane are more your ready-made elite level goal scorers. You're going to come in straight away. And you can probably put Gonçalo Ramos inside that category. But a couple of more question marks around Gonçalo Ramos compared to Kane and Osimhen. Rasmus Højlund. And this is the Danish striker is somebody who he's had a fantastic season with Atalanta. And he is somebody who, in my opinion, I don't see United going after him this summer, right? That's just my opinion. We take a couple of look at some charts down here. We see what he's good at. Touches in the attacking box, successful box entries. Not that too many goals here. But you can see he's got a bit of an all-round game. Not too many startling weaknesses, apart from tackles, interceptions. Who cares about that? Aerial duels, not very good at that either. But Højlund strikes me as, I don't know, somebody that maybe Newcastle would be looking at signing at this point in his career, rather than Manchester. What we need is a ready-made, elite-level, world-class goal scorer. Not somebody who can grow into... Well, I'm not saying that we have to get someone who's completely ready-made now, and somebody who won't grow and become better at United. Of course, you always want that. But it just seems at this point in his career, it will be I don't think United and Ten Hag will be looking at him. Again, that's just an instinct. More than anything else, just judging by what I've seen of him and what I think Manchester United need. So that's 5 strikers there, right? I think we all know by now Harry Kane is right to the top of that list, and maybe Victor Osimhen is there too, but we're hearing more around Harry Kane to Man United than we are about Victor Osimhen. We can have conversations around Gonçalo Ramos, but that's gone a bit quiet. I kind of would be surprised because I think if you're looking price-wise, you're not going to be too far off how much you'd have to pay for Harry Kane or Victor Osimhen. Maybe Victor Osimhen's going to be a little bit more. But Gonçalo Ramos, I don't see it happening, personally. Just an instinct. Evan Ferguson looks like he's going to be staying at Brighton. And Rasmus Højlund, I think just as of now, it isn't the right time. But he's certainly an exciting prospect. There's a couple more signings here that I think United should be taking a look at. And Marcus Thuram is one of them. Now, he's 25. He's technically got his prime ahead of him. He's leaving Borussia Mönchengladbach on a free transfer this summer. He is somebody who I think could come in and be an excellent supplementary signing. So that would be if we got Harry Kane plus Marcus Thuram or Victor Osimhen plus Marcus Thuram. I think it could be a shrewd signing because he's free and because I think we probably need more than one striker. I wouldn't say he's not as much of a clinical centre forward as Osimhen or Kane is. He's somebody who can play off the left as well. But I think in terms of taking advantage of an opportunity in the market, I think someone's going to snap. Well, someone will snap him up for free. Maybe Barcelona will go sniffing around him. They love the free transfer market right now. And another name, I personally don't see it happening because of the price around it, but Jonathan David has had another fantastic season with Lille in Ligue 1 in France. Somebody, he's got an excellent profile. It sort of fits Ten Hag's style. Somebody who can play with the press. Somebody who's very mobile. Somebody who's a good athlete. He does tick a lot of boxes for what Ten Hag wants. But I think because you can see the price that's written down there on Transfermarkt, and I think it might be a little bit higher than that. He's going to go for big money if he does leave France. And as I said, if we're looking at what we need this summer, we need the ready-made man to come and lead that line. Now, Jonathan David could grow into that role now, and he could be an incredible signing. But there's more question marks around him in the same way you'd have question marks around Gonçalo Ramos, in the same way you'd have question marks around Rasmus. I don't think there's really any question marks around Kane or Osimhen. I think both of them are going to come in and just score goals. Depends which one you think stylistically fits what Ten Hag wants more. Well, the playmaker type from Harry Kane with the years of experience. And look, he's not too old, ladies and gents. He's around about the same age as Simon Van Persie. We know how that one worked out. I'm not too worried about the age, but the price for the age, I can understand concerns about. Osimhen, elite level goal scorer, has shown it this season with Napoli in the Champions League and with Serie A. Napoli about to win their first league title since Maradona because this dude's been leading their line. And then you can run through the other options. There's 7 names on that list, and there might be more that I haven't mentioned here that you want to discuss. Let me know in the comments below. This video is taking a look at the strikers. I'm going to be taking a look at the midfielders in a separate shopping list video. Defenders, goalkeepers. It's going to be a little mini series taking a look at each position where we need to strengthen this summer ahead of the transfer window, and then we can deep dive into deeper scouting reports about certain targets. You let me know what you think in the comments below, but that's Ten Hag's striker shopping list. Who have I missed? I'm sure I've missed some. You can let me know.